Alert, they're coming.
Do you want to jump into your review right
Let's
now?
jump into it. That's a perfect segue into my review, in which I will be talking thoroughly Super Mario 3D World plus
Here.
Bowser's Fury, which I 100%ed on Colin's profile, 4Gs. And we're now up to like World 7, I think, or 8, actually. And we just got to 100% so far on my profile. And I 100%ed Bowser's Fury earlier today, which is,
Oh
just
my
to clear it
God.
up, a side game. So to tell you guys what everything is, this first part is going to be a remake. So it was on the Wii U originally, and it was a co-op up to 4 people, couch co-op. You could be Toad, Peach, whatever, and everyone has different stats, basically. Okay, so Mario, he's, in my opinion, the way the game is supposed to be played. Then you got Luigi, jumps the best, but is slower. Peach is easy mode. She just floats. Toad is super fast, and spoiler alert, you do unlock Rosalina after you beat the game, and she has an attack that also acts as a second jump. So she is amazing. She has like her long jump is extraordinary, and she has like an auto kill. Yeah, spoiler alert.
Luigi's also really slidey, I noticed. He kind
Yeah,
of
Luigi's really slidey. Mario is, in my opinion, how the game is supposed to be played. Absolutely.
of course.
Mario is just like perfect stats.
So
Okay.
when we do This Is Difficult versus Mario World, I got dibs on Peach because I suck at games.
She's easy. Yeah. That's what me and Colin always use to beat the game, because of the floatiness.
Yeah, I don't
Yeah.
mind being Luigi. I kind of like Luigi.
Mario all day. But okay, so this is a port from the Wii U initially, and so the thing that they did add to the original game, which in my opinion is already a perfect Mario game, and I'll get into that in a second, but they did add online cooperative capabilities, so you can join a server room. And now, like, say, so me and Colin were playing, he basically opened his room, and I went in, and you guys can come in and whatever, and be whichever character on his file. So it is on whoever is natively hosting its file only. So yeah. Aside from that, let's see what else.
Quick question. I got a quick question. And the only reason I bring this up is because we tried to do our Scott Pilgrim stream, and the network connectivity was a fucking disaster.
Oh, it was bad.
So,
on the Switch.
on the Switch. And so I'm curious about how well the network connectivity works. If you guys had any like drops or any kind of.
We did have only once, so we played through the entire game, and the only time we had a drop was on Champions Road, which is the ultimate super secret mega hard level, which we did eventually beat. But there was a few drops one time, just like lagginess through the jumps, which have to be precise in this level, so otherwise we might not have even noticed it. But we restarted his router just because mine was hooked up to a bunch of other shit, and then he was like, okay, it's fine, and it was fine then. So a little bit of disturbance, reset of one router, and then we were perfect again. All like, there were no drops, like there were no like, oh, you got booted from this room, not at all, none of that at all. Yeah, it was like perfectly smooth. Also, 2 people per console can do local, so you and a buddy can like go online with 2 other people, or 2 separate people, for example. So
that's really cool.
It's really cool. I will say I already loved this game, and I did play it initially couch co-op with Colin back in the day when it came out, and I think 2014 or 13. It's hard. I don't know. I'm gonna need a fact check there on the Wii U, but this game is amazing online. It's like so much better online. I can't even explain. And then what else? Okay, developed by Nintendo. It was released on the 12th. It's played on the Switch, only available on the Switch. I don't know if it says about how much it costs, but it is. I got it for $50 plus tax at Walmart, actually. So I was like, oh shit,
nice.
Is that good? Yeah. So I feel like that was pretty good. So
yeah, I paid the full 60 just for the digital.
That's the thing. I wasn't sure, but it felt cheap to me. I was like, it's a remake, so maybe it's just cheaper. But maybe this Walmart just had it for cheaper, and I was like, fuck it, I'm not going to.
I think Walmart does do deals on new games like that. Amazon used to have those deals, and I think only Walmart does those now.
That's amazing. Walmart's not that bad. Yeah. But anyway, so $50, $60, depending on where you're getting it. Absolutely, in my opinion, worth the price tag. Super Mario 3D World is basically, like Paul said, it's a 3-dimensional, 2-dimensional Mario game, basically replacing Mario 3 or adding to it. So like it could even be like the final ultimate Super Mario World that never came out. The controls, in my opinion, were already really good, although it's not like super fast movements like Sunshine. It is really smooth movements like 64. And you don't have the full array, but you actually do get the dive jump from Super Mario Odyssey in this remake. So the dive jump where you could basically like you're doing a wall jump and then you immediately turn around and can dive onto the ledge when you would normally like not be able to get back, or any number of things. But the dive basically was added back to this from Odyssey, and so it's in Bowser's Fury. But they
I know
actually
you can
added
do
it
that
to
with
3D World as well.
Oh, did they? Because I noticed you
Yeah,
can do that with a
amazing.
cat, but I didn't think you could do that with just your regular
You can do it. So
dude.
basically, it's like you crouch and roll, but now you can do it in midair.
Oh,
I don't know
cool.
how to explain it. Yeah, they
Nice.
added that, so that's really nice. And then what else? It's amazing. The game is amazing. What did I like about the game? I want to like kind of get into Bowser's Fury a lot too. So 3D World is one of the better like 3D platforming games, period. Like it's so fucking good. In the beginning, you're like, oh, it's a kiddie Mario game. And then by World 3 or 4, you're like, okay, they really put a
It
lot
gets
of
hard.
effort. Yeah, they put a lot of effort into the level design, and especially shows in the later levels and in the secret levels, and especially Champions Road and other ones. It just shows. Music is incredible. The multiplayer is some of the best ever. Online multiplayer, I can't believe it. Nintendo finally did this shit. To me, they can do it with any Mario game now. I think I would love to see that. At least like level-based Mario games, or like I don't know. There's a way to do it. Clearly, they showed it. Obviously, the original shell of the game was multiplayer, so it's a little easier for them. But I think it's possible to do it again with a bigger game.
I'm a little
So
curious why they didn't make Bowser's Fury online multi. Like,
I'll mention what I okay. So I'll just say what I think is because me and Colin decided the level design factor makes for like a clean experience with multiplayer, but being like all over the place, you're basically your only option is to make everyone have their own screen, and then you kind of just like beat the same file together, and it's like kind of like
Oh,
inconsequential at that point. To
mm,
me, it is a much better, like it felt like a really good solo experience, like almost
it's
like a Zelda
really
game.
fun.
It's literally like Zelda like meets Mario 64 with a ton of new Mario
nice.
aspects too.
Dude,
It's
and
so
those Bowser battles are so fun.
so
The
epic. Up
giant
until
Bowser
the very
battles.
last one, when you 100% the game, you get a super amazing, intense Bowser battle, and it's like really fucking awesome. And then what was I gonna say? Yeah, pretty much 3D World, everything amazing. Yeah, buy it. It's already worth the price with Super Mario 3D World, in my opinion. It's super fucking good. Now let's talk about also music, art. Everything is very Mario, exactly what you would expect.
It's what
Mhm.
you'd expect. Yeah.
Yeah, it's nothing extraordinary, but Bowser's Fury. Now let's talk about it. We already got a worthwhile game on this price tag here, and now we get Bowser's Fury. What the fuck is that? It's literally its own open world Mario game, and in my opinion, it basically adds like Breath of the Wild or Wind Waker factor to Super Mario like universe, and it doesn't just hit like 64, Galaxy Odyssey, whatever. Although it does feel like a really tight version of Odyssey, actually. Like the controls feel so good. It feels like one of
Nice.
the best ways Mario has ever been handled. But they add this to this massive world where Colin basically perfectly said it to me. He was like, the open world is the hub world now. So they used to have a hub world, basically, like Delfino
Mhm.
Plaza or the castle, but now the open world is that hub world. And it really
Mhm.
adds just this massive open world vibe. You have this huge ocean basically where islands are everywhere, so there's no like fall damage or anything like falling off the map or anything unless you touch lava, so that's really nice. Plessy literally is like Epona, like it takes you all over the ocean when you unlock her in the beginning. It's like
Oh,
they
that
yeah, the
fucking
dinosaur.
seahorse
And
thing. Yeah.
anywhere you go, she'll appear.
Oh,
Anywhere you go
nice.
in the ocean, she'll just be like, "Oh, did you need me?" And you could just like pop up. It's yeah, pop right on her and just like sail anywhere you want. It's amazing. The Bowser Fury shit. It like basically, if you don't know, Bowser will attack you every. It feels like 5 to 10 minutes, and every time you like do something story wise, quote unquote, because there's not much story, but like achieve a new area, he'll kind of attack you, and then you use the shines, the cat shines, to scare him away, and you fill up these lighthouses with light until he can no longer like attack that area basically. But honestly, he attacks you even until the last star, and then like the very end of the game, it gets like really intense because he won't leave you the fuck alone until you're like getting this last star. And yeah, it's so good. The game has 100 stars in it. Oops, spoiler alert. And so it's not like the crazy longest, but I think this alone would probably be like a $40 price tag as far as like
Wow.
quality of game. I think I put 6 hours into it to 100% it, give or take, which is short for a Mario game, but quality like shines.
But
and
for
nothing
an
that-
add-on to an already awesome Mario game, it's freaking fantastic.
Completely.
Yeah.
Fantastic. I have one gripe about the game, like literally one gripe, and that is that you can't put the camera right behind Mario, or at least I don't know where the button is for that. So I'm constantly using my other hand, or even like doing weird stretches to make the camera turn, and because you literally can only turn it with the C stick, and that I think is kind of a detriment they didn't think about.
So you don't play dual stick anyway? Like you're not always having your thumb on the right stick anyway to control the camera?
Well, that's the thing in 3D World, which it's using the 3D World mechanics, right? So like in 64,
fair.
in 64 and Sunshine and that and whatnot, you can just press R and the camera will go right behind you.
Right behind you,
But in 3D World, it's fixed, so you can only like shift the camera around the world, so there's no real behind the head. And this kind of takes these mechanics and puts it behind the head, and I feel like they didn't quite nail exactly like how that would feel for some reason. And sometimes even the camera's like locked when you're on a large flat surface area, like home base type area, and then it won't let you like lift the camera just because it wants you to have this like perspective, which I'm like, okay, that's interesting. It's still kind of doing the 3D World vibe where it like locks your perspective in, even though it is fully like open world.
So I heard a rumor, and I don't know if this is true, but I don't believe it actually is, because, and the reason is because it's in the 3D World engine, right? But someone, I was in a stream recently, and they were saying that Bowser's Fury was originally supposed to be an expansion for Mario Odyssey, but it's not. It's not in the Odyssey engine. It's very clearly built in the 3D World engine.
Definitely built in the 3D, but I will say some of the ideas may be like literally pieces of levels from an Odyssey expansion or something.
Yeah, I'm wondering if that's just like a narrative thing, like a writing thing.
I will say some of the graphics I think are like Odyssey quality. So I don't know if this was like, maybe they tuned everything up to its standards. I don't know if it's the same engine, but maybe they replicated a lot of its qualities. But like a lot of the music is like some of the best ever in a Mario game, and I'm just thinking like this seems like some really new like awesome stuff that they might have been saving for something secret. Yeah, and literally if you go through it, it's like this world of islands like Wind Waker, and each island is like its own new world. Like it could have easily been like lost game pieces that they were like, let's give them something, like let's just put all of our ideas that we haven't used yet into this little like playground for them, and just like whatever it which is literally what it is. It's like 100 like fucking like mini things in Mario universe. It's crazy. It's also varied and weird. It's really good though because of that. I feel like this is the direction Mario should be going. I feel like they think they hit it with Breath of the Wild with that giant open world. Nothing is like no holds bounds or whatever. But I think they really hit it this time by using that same type of mechanism on a Mario game where it was like level to level. And as soon as we lost the hub world, I was really sad. In Galaxy 1, you have the Sky Castle. And in Odyssey, I can't even talk. In Galaxy 2, you're just the Mario head and you go on the like level track. And I'm like, I don't have hub worlds anymore. And then Odyssey, you don't have hub world either because you're like in the head. Linear. So I'm like, I really like the hub world. This game is awesome because you have an amazing just world. There's no like going to home base or anything like that. Like you get a shine, you just keep going. There's no like world, there's no hub world because it's all just part of the hub world. So I think that's an amazing design. It lets there be like more meaning to like the little lameness. Like if you're just running around stomping on Goombas, like it really feels like back in the day with 64, just because like the whole world is so sewn together. You're like, maybe it all matters. Like maybe it's all like neat to explore instead of like in a 2D Mario, we're just kind of stomping through it and none of it really is consequential. So I don't know. I feel like what they did here is like revolutionary to the Mario franchise. They finally hit a vein that was like needed. Art was amazing. Music was amazing. Sound design is flawless. It took me 6 hours or so, maybe longer, maybe shorter, to 100% it completely. So
that's very quick.
I would say that's pretty quick. And I wasn't like grinding it out at all. So I was just kind of like, I would say that's the other thing. The difficulty on this is good. Like you get a good challenge. Some of these took me, I think like the most was like 5 tries on a shine, but some of them were like, okay, this is pretty cool. Like ideas that they obviously haven't utilized before. So I'm pretty impressed. Like very interesting Mario platforming ideas. And that's really cool. I always love seeing new platforming. But it's not overly difficult. Although some parts you're like, holy shit, I can't believe I just beat that. but it just feels like anyone could do it. So I wouldn't be, you know, mad about saying it's actually a game that like children could beat, but it's definitely also enjoyable for a guy like me. But that's why I'm beating it in 6 hours instead of like 15 hours. Yeah.
Right. When it came out, so my sister just bought her family a Switch, and she was asking me what games to get. I'm like, get Super Mario 3D World, Bowser's Fury, because I will play it with you.
Yeah.
And we will all have a great time.
You'll have the great time. And me and Colin were just commenting just on 3D World alone, like the best co-op experience on the Switch so far. Like this is what we've been replicating with emulators and whatnot, and like all the Super Mario 64 online mods and whatnot. And now it's finally like Nintendo made one for us. It's so fucking good. It's the first time Nintendo has made an online Mario aside from Mario Kart. So, or whatever, you know, Mario Sports, Super Smash. Yeah. Like an actual Mario game. I think this is the first one where you don't have to be on the couch next to someone. So that's pretty insane. And so like we were saying with Bowser's Fury being co-op, I think it is a better one-player experience, although it would be cool to have multiplayer. It really wouldn't work in split screen. So we were basically saying before the podcast, it would have to be like, you're just in my file. We can run around each other and throw each other around and shit, but like we can split up and go get, you know, shrines and whatnot. And I don't know, maybe it kind of cheapens the experience is what it is. Because I felt like it was a really solid one-player experience as well.
I wonder if, I mean, so I was so impressed with the design and difficulty curve of Odyssey being very like approachable to kind of anybody. And I really would love to see them sort of balance that out between something like an old school, you know, difficult Mario World, for example, which is not like, I've played it so many times at this point that I know it inside and out. I can beat it in a sitting, but like bringing something like that sort of halfway in between that difficulty and an Odyssey level difficulty. So it sounds to me like that's kind of what they've gone for with this is like more approachable than Super Mario World, but less approachable than Mario Odyssey, which is kind of exactly I think where Mario needs to be right now.
Yeah, exactly. I completely agree. It needs to be like a nice curve where it feels like you're trying hard, but it doesn't feel like anything's unattainable. Where like some of the old ones, arguably, you're like, what the fuck? Like some of, especially
think about the end of Mario 3.
Yeah.
Oh my god, that ending.
And some of the secrets, it's just like, what the fuck? Like, how do you get these things and how do you figure this out? So maybe that's a graphical enhancement. Just being able to see all these things from every angle. You're like, okay, well, I can just like see every aspect of it because it's in a 3D plane.
That's one thing I noticed about just the base 3D World game is that there's some secrets that you definitely have to, like, I don't change my view very often in 3D World because I don't feel like it's necessarily intended to have a shifting view because it's supposed to play like the older Mario games, but there certainly are secrets that you are going to miss if you're not shifting your view sometimes. You know?
Absolutely. So,
I do kind of think that was a nice touch because it, you know, kind of makes you have to be a little more cerebral when you're playing it instead of just like crushing through a level. But
which tends to be the way that I approach it, is just like get to the end, get to the end fast. But I think that'll be an interesting thing to experiment with when we're doing it together. Is Josh, you've now seen all of it. Paul, you'll probably have seen most of it by the time we sit down. I'm probably going to come into it with pretty fresh eyes. Like I'll have done a little bit of it by the time we get there. But there's going to be, I bet you anything, there's going to be times where Josh is just like, wait, stop. We're going to go this way now.
I'm about halfway through World 5 right now, I think.
Are we going to 100% it, or are we just going to beat a bunch of levels?
I mean, I think we see how far we can get on one stream or whatever.
So when we do, I would love to 100% it with like you and one off stream or something like that, just for fun. But for the co-op stream, for the podcast, I say we start from square one and just see how far we can get.
That's what I'm thinking too.
You know,
sounds good. Sounds good.
Yeah, I'm super for that. Dude, I love that there's tank levels in this too. It's just so Super Mario 3. It's super
so many
fucking
things.
Mario 3. I love it.
Let's see. Is the game worth buying? It's like might as well be free. It's so much content. I'm not even kidding. There's so much content in this game. It's a must-have for the Switch. If you're a Mario fan in any way, then this is. I'm not even gonna lie. I think it's better than Odyssey in a lot of ways.
Like in a lot of ways, I agree.
The whole package with 3D World and Bowser's Fury. it adds something that Odyssey doesn't. And
I absolutely love Odyssey.
Yeah.
But I think you're right. And also, like, here's the thing about 3D Marios in general that I don't like, and I'm including Odyssey in this, is that you like in my mind, Mario, I hit blocks and I get, power-ups and shit, right? None of that's in any of the 3D Mario games except for 3D World. It's like the old games where I can get, I can get a Tanuki suit. I can get like,
not only that, but it puts coins and like hard to get blocks in areas where if you get them and it'll trigger an event where coins will rain down, you get them and it'll just like clap and the audience will be like, ooh, and you'll be like, cool, I did something the game intended and it was difficult, but there was no reward. Like literally just the reward of feeling good about doing a cool game thing.
Right.
And so it definitely emphasized that a lot. And in Bowser's Fury, like you're saying, there was like real blocks everywhere and it was just like Mario in a just spread out 3D open world vibe. Like even 64 like didn't have any like any blocks to that degree or any like Super Mario feeling mechanics. This like really felt like it was all the Mario games mixed in, like so good. You even have like the long jump and the dive and everything move wise that you really need at all. The only thing is I really like the side jump where you like run one direction, turn back and you jump but you do have that, but it's not like it is in Sunshine where it's like instantaneous.
Right.
But of course, whatever. Every game has its own mechanics, so I can't hate on it for that.
I noticed that mechanic is easier to do with Luigi because of his slide.
I think
have you noticed that?
Yeah. I have to go farther with Mario, I think, for sure.
Yeah.
Overall worth buying, overall rating, literally the only thing that is holding the game back from being a perfect 10, I feel like I should still give it a 10 too, is the fucking camera where like you press R and the camera's just behind you. So if I don't care about this and you learn to not care about this, trust me, I don't care about this. But if I'm being critical, I do care about it. But so if I do care about it, the game is a 9.9. If I don't give a shit about the stupid camera thing, then honestly, the game is a flawless 10. It is so fun. It is so good. 100% worth it. Bowser's Fury is incredible. The future of Mario, in my opinion. And 3D World is incredible. One of the best co-op experiences ever, especially best Mario experiences ever. And highly recommend it on all fronts, pretty much to anyone who either has friends, enjoys video games, or is a Mario fan.
Yep.
I'm just going to give it a perfect 10 with the note that the camera in Bowser's Fury may annoy you. And
maybe they'll patch that. Who knows?
Maybe
they'll get feedback on that.
Yeah.
Awesome, man. That was an excellent review. I'm really happy about it.
That's
definitely one of those games that after I 100% in Bowser's Fury today, I'm like, wow, I'm kind of sad I have all the content. It's like one of those games like when you finally beat Breath of the Wild. I was like, so sad I put like 160 hours into that game.
That was exhausting. Speaking of Breath of the Wild,